Okay, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of Rockin' It with Rama Screen. Let me just post on my social media here that I am now live. I am now live at youtube.com/Rama Screen One. In the immortal words of Matthew McConaughey, star of this weekend's movie Serenity. All right. Just keep living. um, mm. all right. So a lot happened this past week from the entertainment news. I've picked a few topics for us to discuss. Um, and I want to make sure that I keep this within a good or reasonable time. Not too long, because I know that Royal Rumble is happening today, and there's a lot of stuff also that needs to be covered. Um, but I wanna get through these topics with you guys, and I want to hear what you think about them. But before we get to them, I just want to give a shout out of happy birthday, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to my little sister Rebecca Tapabolon, my youngest sister. It is her birthday today, January 27. Um, and so, sis, I'm very proud of you of what you've accomplished, and I love you. And may God continue to bless you in all that you do. That is my hope and prayer. Okay. Next up, Rama Screen is on iTunes and Spotify. So if you are among those who prefer enjoying Rama Screen on audio, when you're driving to work or when you're commuting on the bus to work, you can download them, including the weekly show Rockin' It with Rama Screen Live, as a podcast on both iTunes and Spotify. Again, they are available there for you to download for free. For free, you guys, for free. All right. So, and lastly, before we get to the topics, just want to remind you guys that Rama Screen um is independent. I don't have a lot of I don't have advertisers. I don't have a lot of corporate fund backing, whatever. I don't have any of those. So I rely on you guys. So if you can help support this channel and this podcast, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. That's on a monthly basis contribution. But if you want to just give a one-time donation, you can also do so at gofundme.com/ramascreen. That's gofundme.com/ramascreen. Or you can do super chat whenever I go live stream, not just on every Sunday. Sometimes I would do live stream on weekdays too, whenever there's a topic that needs tackling at that given moment. So so yeah, you can do super chat, you can do GoFundMe, you can do Patreon. Yeah, again, I don't have any corporate backing or sponsors or advertisers. I rely on you guys. So if you can help me to keep going and continue covering red carpets and press junkets and review movies early for you guys, if you want me to continue doing those, please help support this channel and this podcast through those avenues. Okay, so first up, this is a pretty quick one, but I'm very interested in this because I was a huge fan of the first movie, and I'm talking about The Princess Diaries. Um, I remember watching it. I think I was still in. Wait, that's 2001, right? So I may have already graduated high school. I was class 2001, part of the class of 2001, and I remember seeing this movie in theaters and was just loving it. It was just so, it's like your typical Disney movie, right? Typical Disney live action movie. Rags to riches, dreams come true. Who would not who would not want to be kings or queens or princess? And so for that kind of fortune to happen on this awkward girl that is played by Anne Hathaway, that's just like, wow, so Disney. But let me tell you this, I have not, to this day, I still have not watched The Princess Diaries 2. what's the title again? The Royal Engagement, was it? And that was like back in 2004. I haven't watched it yet. I kid you not, I missed out on it that year. Maybe I was too busy doing something. And I always told myself that I'm gonna rent it. I'm gonna, I don't know, watch it somewhere. But I never got around to actually doing it. So even as this episode airs, to tell you guys the truth, I haven't watched the sequel yet. I kind of get the idea of the plot or the gist of what the story is in the sequel, but I haven't seen the movie yet. So it's been what, 15 years? I'm sorry, 2004. Yeah, right. 15 years. Yeah, 15 years. That's a long time. Um, and guess what? There are now talks about Princess Diaries 3. I'm reading off of, let's see here. I want to make sure I credit the source of the outlet. I don't want to dismiss that because, you got to give credit where credit's due. Stylecaster.com. Okay, I'm reading off of stylecaster.com. Uh, Anne Hathaway has just confirmed that Princess Diaries 3 is happening, and we only have two words. Shut up. That's the editorial part of the article. Hathaway was chatting with Andy Cohen on Watch What Happens Live when she casually confirmed the third film. There is a script for the third movie, she said with a glint in her eye. There is a script. I want to do it. Julie Andrews wants to do it. Deborah Martin Chase, our producer, wants to do it. We all really want it to happen. Okay, Julie Andrews wants to do it, she says. Julie Andrews, of course, plays the queen of Genovia, um, the grandmother of Anne Hathaway's character. And Genovia is obviously it's a fictional place, just like Markovia in Young Justice Outsiders. Um, and so the article also says that they're planning to make this third installment as a tribute to director Gary Marshall. Director Gary Marshall is the one who helmed the first two movies. He was the director of the franchise, and unfortunately, he passed away in July of 2016. So they want to make this third installment in his honor, which is sweet, right? Which is great. If that's the intention behind it, to make this reunion happen, hey, let's get back together for one last hurrah for Gary Marshall. That sounds fine and dandy to me. If you're against that, you'll be like the like a bad guy in this scenario. There are no details yet about the plot for the third movie. The script, I'm not sure who penned it or drafted it. Maybe you guys can find that out for me. But the author of the book series that the movies are based on is all for it too. In 2017, author of the Princess Diaries, Meg Cabot, revealed that a script did exist, and she was not allowed to talk about it at that time. And she basically praised the movies, even though the movies kind of uh, falter or deviate away from the books. She still praised it as, hey, it's its own thing, right? You can love the movies and you can love the books. Both are just fine. So, and that's a good way of looking at it. Some authors get really really protective of their work or their books, that when they see an adaptation of their books that kind of deviates significantly from what they wrote down, that they get really touchy or really sensitive about that. But that's not the case with Meg Cabot. I hope I pronounced that last name correctly. I apologize if I did not. So in her mind, that both the movies and the books are equally amazing, and that's fine. Um, so this is interesting because if you remember, Anne Hathaway, prior to Princess Diaries, if you look it up, she she only had like that one short-lived series, Get Real, co-starring Jesse Eisenberg, back when Jesse Eisenberg and Anne Hathaway were not famous. And whereas other actors, probably Jesse Eisenberg as well, have to go through other projects that may be obscure, Anne Hathaway, right after Get Real got canceled, boom, she got that Princess Diaries gig, and her career just took off. She got that gig with the legendary Oscar winner Julie Andrews, when Anne Hathaway was not an Oscar winner and she was just a young actress. Um, and and then she did the sequel. And if you remember the trajectory of her career, um, she did two Princess Diaries movies, and then she did Ella Enchanted, and then she did that Red Riding Hood animated series. I mean, I'm sorry, animated movie. I forgot what it's called. Was it Hoodwinked? Might have been Hoodwinked. Um, so, but she did not come back for the sequel of that animated movie, because from that point on, she made the turn to take on more adult roles, more serious roles. So she felt at that point like, all right, I've made my name out there through these family friendly movies, but now I want to be taken seriously as an actress. So she did movies like Havoc, and of course Brokeback Mountain, and she got her first Oscar nomination with Rachel Getting Married, um, and the rest is history. So I don't remember the last time she did a family movie, but the thing is, her returning to that genre with Princess Diaries 3 would be also something that's, wow, that's lovely. Like, it's like a coming back home for her. And obviously, right? So after so many years of all these serious roles, and she won Oscar for Les Miserables, and we'll see if she still got it though. Obviously after 15 years, they would have to come up with a better title because she's not a princess anymore, right? I'm guessing she'll be a queen. Again, I haven't seen the second movie. I remember though that in the first movie, there's that boy. I think he was played by Robert Schwartzman. That boy that's supposed to be her love interest in the first movie, but that boy did not return in the sequel, which again I haven't seen. And in the sequel, the plot is supposed to be like they're encouraging her to find a mate. So 15 years has passed. If you want to go with the storyline of maybe she's pregnant now, maybe we're just like Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle. The oh my God, it's the royal baby, right? The royal pregnancy. Maybe they're gonna tackle that, but then it's like, wow. So you're gonna have to pick up the story not too long after the second movie, then, because if 15 years have passed, then we just say her kid's already grown up. So I'm not sure what the plot would be. If you have suggestions, if you have theories as to what this third installment is supposed to if you have theories as to what this third installment should be about, or suggestions, let them know in the comment section below. Um, let me know, or let the world know what you want to see happen in Princess Diaries 3. Before I move on, um, I'm a big fan of One Day at a Time series. That's a comedy series on Netflix. It's a fantastic sitcom. If you haven't seen it yet, it's a reboot of Norman Lear's 70s One Day at a Time series. And anyway, the reboot is about a Cuban American family, and the daughter, um, teenager, she's played by actress Isabel Gomez. I believe that's her name, and her character's name is Elena, and she looks kind of like Anne Hathaway from the Princess Diaries. As a matter of fact, season 2 kind of pointed that out as part of the running gag in season 2. Like, oh, she looks like Anne Hathaway. Uh, I just find that interesting. I know I'm a dork, but that'd be pretty cool if they cast Isabel Gomez playing another character in the Princess Diaries 3. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, what do you want to see happen in Princess Diaries 3? Do you think that this third installment comes a bit too late? 15 years a bit too late? What do you think? Uh and do you think there's still an interest in the audience to see the Princess Diaries movie, another Princess Diaries movie, or do you think it's like that, like last year's Robin Hood, where the argument is like nobody wanted another Robin Hood movie, okay? Nobody wants a new Robin Hood reboot, and they're right. Turns out, because Robin Hood sucked, and deservingly so. It bombed at the box office as well. So, do you think that people are still wanting another Princess Diaries movie? Or is it just Anne Hathaway's wish, you know, wishful thinking on her part? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment below. As always, let's wrap this. All right. So the next topic, before we get to the next topic, I just want to remind you guys again that Rama Screen is available as an audio, as a podcast on iTunes and Spotify. So if you are more interested in listening to Rama Screen as opposed to watching them on YouTube, you can do so by downloading it as a podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Both ways are free. All right. So the next topic is, we're making good time here. Netflix is bringing you Resident Evil series. Yes, yes. Now, um, I'm not a big fan of all of the 6 Resident Evil movies that Paul W.S. Anderson and Mia Jovovich gave us, but I must say that uh, maybe 4 of them are my guilty pleasures. You know, let's be honest here, guys. What makes those Resident Evil movies so appealing? Is it because they are faithful to the video games? Not really. I mean, they would incorporate, certain elements from the video games or certain characters from the video games just to get the video game fan base stoked. Um, but Alice is not based on the character from the video game. Um, but people keep coming back to make each movie a decent box office commercial success. That's why they keep making it. It's like, oh, the last one that we just did made money. All right, let's make a fourth one. Let's make a fifth one. If the last one or the previous installment did not make money, they probably would rethink about or reconsider, the idea of making the next one. But it kept making money, so they kept making those movies. What to me, and I don't know if this resonates with you guys, but to me, what I find appealing about those Resident Evil movies, again, they are guilty pleasures. The stories, the scripts are so bad, so terrible, and after like 4 Resident Evil movies, you start seeing, kind of like Transformers movies, you start seeing them as like the same thing. Like, what's the difference? It's the same formula, same generic. It's the same. Excuse me. Same structure too. Just probably slight differences here and there as far as the action sequences and the CG the CG visuals concerned. Um, but after a while, you're like, oh my god, it's like I'm seeing the same movie again. But it's just, there's something about it that it's like this. I can play a Resident Evil movie in the background while I'm studying or while I'm blogging. All right, while I'm blogging. Um, yeah, that's how I would put it. I know that might not be too clear. I should probably put it, in much more clarifying way in words. But it's something that, like, okay, if I were to do my laundry, fold my laundry, and I have freaking Resident Evil playing in the background, I would catch a glimpse like, oh yeah, that's a cool action sequences, and then I go back to doing my chores, and then I'll go like, oh yeah, I remember this scene. Oh my god, yes, that's pretty hot right there. Oh, now, so it's like that, right? It's that relationship that I have about with Resident Evil movies, even though they're pretty terrible in terms of storytelling quality. There's something about it that's just so, it's like one of the, you know how some movies are so bad it's funny, right? You can say some, like, man, that movie is just so bad, but it's hilarious because it's so bad. Well, Resident Evil is so bad. Resident Evil movies are so bad that they're fun. If that makes any sense at all. So, but let's get back to the topic at hand. Netflix is, according to Deadline, the website Deadline, um, Netflix is developing Resident Evil scripted series, which again will be housed at the same studio that gave us the movies, and that is Constantine Films. And of course, it's based on the popular Capcom video game series. And it says here on the outlet that they're looking to hire a showrunner to oversee the whole thing. And the plan is to expand the universe and deepen the existing mythology. This project is still in early stages, but it promises to explore the Umbrella Corporation's inner workings and the new world order caused by the T virus outbreak. You can also expect this series to have all the signature elements from the Resident Evil movies, similar action sequences style, and Easter eggs from the movies. Although it's not clear yet if they're gonna have the character Alice to be part of the story in this series. You know, they could probably get, if they want to, right? They can probably cast another actress to play Alice, because that's how it's done, right? Usually, when a movie version gets turned into a TV series, and just like Lethal Weapon, they have new actors playing Murtaugh and Martin Riggs, so they can have somebody else play Alice because Mia Jovovich obviously wants to stay a movie star. Um, and of course, this doesn't mean that the reboot that Constantine Film is planning, because remember they're planning a Resident Evil movie reboot. So the series does not mean that the reboot is now scrapped. The reboot is still happening. It's gonna be directed by uh, I thought I had the name here. Maybe I didn't have the name. I apologize. Um, oh, here you go. I have the name. Johannes Roberts. Maybe it's Johannes Roberts. He gave us 47 meters down. So he's gonna be directing the new Resident Evil movie, which starts production hopefully this year with a brand new cast. And James Wan was supposed to produce it, but James Wan exited that project. So again, that reboot is still happening. In addition to this series, what I want to see in Netflix Resident Evil series, because they're gonna be exploring other characters, within the same universe, right? Maybe shared universe or connecting to the movies. Because as I mentioned to you, they're gonna have Easter eggs or similar signature elements. So it sounds to me that it's not like a completely brand separate universe. It'll be like just a story within that same universe of the movies. Um, what I want to see is I hope that I hope they go down the route of anthology. That everything's anthology now, man. Freaking anthologies everywhere, where every episode deals with different characters, deals with different dilemmas, um, and that makes for an interesting series. I mean, the other option would be to have a long arc like Star Trek Discovery. So the last resort should be procedural. I don't want procedural shit. This day and age, procedural is for, like, I don't know, investigation kind of, Magnum PI or NCIS or CSI. Just leave procedural to those kinds of shows, MacGyver. Um, so it'd be nice if Resident Evil on Netflix is either anthology or a long arc, and that covers the whole season. So there's no details yet about that. about the format or nor about the plot. They haven't cast anybody yet, so it'll be interesting to see where this goes as this project develops. And yeah, again, bro, it deals with Umbrella Corp, man. You can't escape Umbrella. That evil company always comes up when it comes to Resident Evil. What do you guys think about Resident Evil series on Netflix? What do you want to see on this show? And do you think that Mia Jovovich should kind of cross over and do this small screen project as well? And what do you? And are you excited about also the movie reboot that's being developed simultaneously along with this with this series? Are you a fan of the franchise, or are you not fans of the franchise? If you hate Resident Evil movies, why? If you love them, then why? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm really curious to hear what you think about this news. Netflix is giving us Resident Evil series. All right, that's it for that topic. Before we move on, real quick, just a reminder that Rama Screen um, is not backed by any big advertisers or sponsors. I rely on you guys for support. So if you can help support Rama Screen, please do so at either patreon.com/ramascreen or gofundme.com/ramascreen. Patreon.com/ramascreen is for monthly contribution. If you basically you become a member, and you become my boss basically, because you contribute on a monthly basis. And GoFundMe, if you want to give one-time donation, however little help helps. All right. So I really appreciate your considering this. Okay, thank you so much. And the next topic is, before we announce the winner of our Reign of the Superman Blu-ray giveaway. I know that some of you participated in that contest, and thank you for that. Thank you for putting your names down for Gleam competition of Reign of the Superman Blu-ray. We're going to be announcing that by the end of this show, by the end of this hour. So stay tuned. Okay, so next topic is Bill Maher versus Kevin Smith. Bill Maher versus Kevin Smith. Now, back in November, after the great Stan Lee passed away, um, November 17, there you go. That's the exact, not the date of Stan Lee's death, but on November 17, Bill Maher posted this blog called Adulting, and I did a video responding to that, or my reaction to that, because in that blog, very short blog, by the way, Bill Maher essentially trashed a whole generation of adults reading comic books. And by the end of that blog, he said, and I quote, "I don't think it's a huge stretch to suggest that Donald Trump could only get elected in a country that thinks comic books are important." Ouch. So why is Bill Maher on the news again? Because his latest show this past Friday, because he has a segment by the end of this episode or weekly episode called New Rules, where he kind of bashes on all various topics. And the headliner of that New Rule segment is again him bashing adults who read comic books. And I can't play that segment for you guys here because of copyright infringement, right? The HBO will be on my ass if I play even the audio of it. So you can catch it on HBO if you have it, or maybe online or on YouTube if somebody kind of grabs a clip of the New Rule and uploads them. But I want to break it down. There's a lot to unpack from what he says here. Obviously, he's gaslighting again. He's trying to trigger everybody again. And but to remind you, before we get to what he said this past Friday, and he also attacked Kevin Smith in his statement, I want to remind you that my previous video reacting to his blog back in November, if you look it up here on Rama Screen YouTube channel, it was very well. That was probably the most political driven speech I've ever done here on this channel. I try to stay away from talking about politics from on Rama Screen channel because I want to keep this channel just be about movies, TV, and entertainment. That's what it's about. This is not a politics channel by all means. But in that video, I because of the blog says, hey, Donald Trump would not have gotten elected if our if this world is not riddled with people reading comic books. So in my response to that, I said in my video, hey, Bill, I know that you are frustrated that Donald Trump is president. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated as well. A lot of us are, but you are misdirecting your anger. Um, just like when you misdirect your anger about Trump towards millennials who eat vegan food. I was like, what did millennials who eat vegan food ever do to you? Like, how are they responsible for Trump's presidency? Like, I have to remind everybody in that video, because in America here, we don't really have real democracy. What we have is electoral college. Electoral college picks our president. It's an ancient system, and we can have a long debate why, whether or not it should be abolished. But the fact of the matter is, Hillary received 3 million more votes than Trump, and Trump still won. In other countries, that would be like they would be scratching their heads, like, what? How? So the person who won more votes lost? Yeah, unfortunately, that's so. My point is that millennials, because that's the one that Bill Maher, trashed ever since Trump won. It's like, oh, you guys, big Jill Stein, you guys smoke pot, so you guys don't even go to the polls, bitch. We went to the polls. We voted. We held our breath and voted for Hillary Clinton. Um, a big chunk of that 3 million votes probably are millennials. The thing is, what Bill Maher forgot is that millennials are social justice warriors generation. Now we can have discussion as to why we like or dislike social justice. Because I'm not all for it. But millennials would rather die than to vote for somebody who in his speech calls out, or in his speech, falsely calls Mexicans like rapists, murderers. Like, why would we want to vote for that guy? Obviously, he's a racist. Um, but Bill Maher forgot that we have an electoral college system here, where even though California has about 55 electoral college number, but if you combine the electoral college numbers from the Rust Belt and the South, that beats the 55 numbers of California. And the fact of the matter is, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, that were supposed to be part of the blue wall, fell. They went red. And the reason is because there's a lot of economic anxieties. For the past 4 presidents, the people in those areas have seen their jobs shipped overseas. They've seen suffering. They don't know how to put they don't know how to put food on their table anymore. I mean, even companies doing layoffs. You've heard the General Motors recently as well, and so people in those states, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Iowa, they have big, strong electoral college power. And so if you don't cater to them, right, because that's the system we have, if you don't cater to them, and they'll go towards the candidate who would speak to their anxiety. And that's what Donald Trump did, Bill. Donald Trump, his combination of racism, because, that's the base that he's trying to appeal to, very, very small percentage of America. But he also sprinkles the economic populism. And obviously he's a con man, right? He enacts the tax cuts that don't benefit anybody, not even the Rust Belt, except if you are what part of the 1%. If you are wealthy or your corporations, you'll be benefited by that tax cut. So he's a con man. He fooled them into voting for him. But but that's the tactic that should have been like genuine on our part. We should have catered to that economic anxiety. We by that I mean Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party, but they did not. They did not. She did not even visit those states. So okay, I went on and on and on about that in the video to remind everybody what happened in 2016. Um, in this latest new rule segment, Bill Maher said, let me break it down for you here. He said, "Hey, in my blog, in the adulting blog in November, I was not attacking Stan Lee. I was attacking adults who read comic books." Okay, all right, Bill. Let's go through that. Okay, Bill, you may claim that in your blog, what you posted on November, I'm sorry, that you were not attacking Stan Lee, that you were attacking people who idolize Stan Lee, people who read Stan Lee's comic books. Um, okay, so let me give you my counter argument. People who read comic books or Stan Lee's work, isn't that the result of his legacy, right? The guy wrote comic books, and so people read them, and so that's the direct correlation. And so that's his legacy, and part of his legacy also is Marvel Studios that makes all those movies. Obviously, Stanley did not direct all those movies. he he did, he probably did not really he did not write the script for those movies. But that is also part of Stanley's legacy. That is the footprint that he left behind on this earth. So attacking that legacy, attacking the people who read his book, the result of what he of the result of the work that he created, which is a fandom. Attacking that is attacking Stanley. You may disagree with me here, you guys. Let me know if you do. Um, but that's the way I see it. Like, if you attack the legacy of Stanley, then you're attacking Stanley. That's just the obvious way of seeing it. Obviously, Bill Maher, in his new rule, wanted to leave some wiggle room. Obviously, he was not happy that Stanley died. That was not part of the point. No, and I'm not saying that Bill Maher is happy that Stanley died. I'm just saying that, hey, you got to think it through here. If you're attacking his legacy, that means you're attacking the man as well. At least that's what I would view too. If you're attacking some a work that I've done, or if you're attacking my patrons, right, people who support the channel, then I say you're attacking me. So Bill Maher wanted some wiggle room by saying, "Oh, guys, you guys misunderstand. I wasn't attacking Stanley. Come on, I was attacking you guys." That doesn't make it any better, though, Bill. And then secondly, he quoted the Bible, which is hilarious because Bill Maher's an atheist, and I got nothing against atheists. All right, I'm not religious anymore. But for him to use the Bible as his defense, it's kind of funny. But putting that aside, and I'm talking about the Bible quote, like, I don't know if you know, but there's a Bible quote that says, "Hey, if I was when I'm a child, I do childish things. When I'm adult, I leave childish things behind, and I become an adult." That's what he quoted. That's what he quoted on this new rule segment. But putting that aside, right? What is up with that idea that we have to abandon the kid in us? Like, who's making these rules that we have to abandon, the things that we love when we were kids, just because now we're adults? Like, oh, you got to abandon your innocence. Any childhood memory, you got eviscerated from your mind. It's like, leave it. Like, I don't understand that. Like, just imagine how bleak, how dead, how gray would our world be if everyone is just serious all the time and just read Shakespeare and Dickens only, and that's it. And again, I got nothing against Shakespeare and Dickens. I'm just saying, like, if that's the only materials, like, no comic books, no other form of entertainment like pictures with words on them. How bleak, how gray, how depressing would that be? um, and let's use an example. Pixar is very open about them making movies not for kids. Pixar made movies or makes movies for the kids in adults. All right, the kids in us, all of us. Um, yes, there's some kids elements to it, right? Because you got to bring the whole family to the theaters. That's how you make money. But for example, the movie Up. This year is the 10th anniversary of my favorite Pixar movie, Up. Go watch it again, dude. That is some deep, deep themes. The woman had miscarriage, the wife, and then this whole thing uh, with Doug, the dog, and the abandonment. What's the Boy Scout's name? I can't remember on the top of my head right now. Um, and it's like he's longing for a father figure that's never there for him, and the grandpa, I can't remember. I forgot his name. He's still clinging to, like, oh my god, I can't let go of my house, because my house, that's my wife's memory, until he finds his wife's note that says, go search for new adventures, after the wife passes. So there's themes of loss, dealing with grief. um I'm sure you can say a lot of kids can relate to that, the kids that have gone through grief and loss. But generally, that's directed at adults. Pixar movies are directed at the kids in the grown-ups. So back, I don't want to go on tangent here. Um, the idea that, hey, we have to abandon our kids, because Bill Maher, that's his reason on the blog and the New Rule segment. He's like, hey, I read comic books too, but I read them when I was a kid. Now that I'm a grown up, I don't read comic books anymore. So grow up, you guys, grow up, America. I have to disagree with that. But let's go to his next topic here. Not topic, line of argument. And this goes along with what I said earlier. He said divorces happen because gamers would rather game instead of, I don't know, instead of having sex with their spouse. He said along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing, hey, divorce rates are pretty big among couples because the men would rather play video games than having sex with their wives. Like, how stupid. Look, that's oversimplifying a relationship, when the fact that it's a relationship is actually more complicated than that. Okay, but by that logic, let's try to simplify relationship just for this topic's sake. All right. Um, I would say that if a gamer husband doesn't satisfy his wife, whatever, you can file that under incompatibility. Incompatibility. I've seen couples who actually have no problem watching Game of Thrones for hours. I kid you not. I've seen couples who have no problem. This is man and wife, or man and man, or wife and wife, who rather play video games for hours, and they would feel very content with that in their relationship. To them, that's their sex. Some people don't prioritize sex, and that's fine. I mean, I disagree, but but that's America. It's a free country. It's their prerogative. So this idea that Bill Maher's like, oh, why don't you guys fuck more often? It's like, dude, if they value their time video game, and their wife don't value video game, then maybe it's a good thing that they divorce. Maybe it's a good thing that they separate, because they are incompatible. It's like being together will be miserable in that incompatibility. So, and also with that line, moderation, moderation, moderation. You have to nurture your relationship just as much as you nurture your gaming habit or comic book reading habit. But by that logic, you can apply it to other things as well. If a guy prioritizes bass fishing, right? He'd rather go out bass fishing um, a lot of days in the week, not inviting his wife. Um, so what? Is Bill Maher gonna yell gonna start yelling at the bass fishing community. Hey, you guys, you guys don't satisfy. That's why the divorce rate is high because you're not there to have sex with your women. Jeez, there's a lot of reasons why people divorce. To uh to boil it down to just that is a very simpleton minded way of looking at it. Okay, so here's another point that he brought up. He Bill Maher makes fun of the fact that people claim to have learned good moral lessons or racial justice lessons from the comic books. You know how just like X-Men, right? X-Men teaches us, hey, don't be racist or prejudiced, don't be against gays. Um, People learn things like that from the comic books, and Bill Maher makes fun of that in the new rule. He says like, "What? Come on, really? That's how you get that idea? Not from the big giants out there, the ones that actually written books about him." Um, well, my counter argument to that is like, so what? So what if people actually learn things from the comic books about racial justice and tolerance? Um, Here's the thing. I always tell people that I was fortunate to have gone to college, and that life for me started in college, not in high school, because in high school my horizon was very narrow. But when I went to college, my horizons broadened because I met people of different backgrounds, people from different mindsets, opposing opinions. I start to question things, and I start to making hypotheses, and I start to be able to argue better or collect my thoughts a lot better, through presentations in front of class, in front of or projects, um, and thesis. So not a lot of people, unfortunately, in this country have that same fortune. I'm not saying that the adults who read comic books are just high school graduates only. All right, I'm not trying to blanket blame that. My point is that if somebody can find good values from the comic books instead of from James Baldwin's novel, then why not? Why are you against that? At least they learn something from something. At least they learn something good from something. That's what I was trying to say. Maybe they never had the opportunity to come across a James Baldwin novel. But if a comic book tells them, through the characters and the storyline, hey, you know, you gotta stand up for the little guys. You gotta be kind and don't bully those who are different from you. If a comic books can tell them that, you know, why not? Many people don't have the fortune that or the luck or the opportunity that I had to go to college. And if comic books can be the one to provide that moral lesson, then why the hell are you against that, Bill? So to Kevin Smith. Okay, so it's Kevin Smith. Bill Maher attacks Kevin Smith, makes fun of how Kevin Smith is an adult who wears kids' shirts. The Flash. He has that image of Kevin Smith wearing the Flash shirt, not the Flash costume. Um, okay, and Kevin Smith responds in the most the most gracious way. He says on Twitter, "Yes, Bill Maher took a shot at me during his show last night in the midst of his latest rant about Stan Lee and adults who like comic books. Excuse me. No, I am not mad at all. Bill may talk tough, but he's a stoner like me and a real pussycat when confronted." And Kevin Smith led to this YouTube link when he was on Bill Maher a few years ago, and and Kevin Smith confronted Bill Maher about Bill Maher making fun of his weight. And Bill Maher looks so like, oh, embarrassed, like, oh, you called me out for that, what I said that one time. That's the kind of person Bill Maher is. Like when he said the N word, I don't know why he used the N word, and then Ice Cube came on his show, and Ice Cube schooled him on why he's not supposed to use the N word, and Bill Maher's like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So that's the kind of person Bill Maher is. Sometimes he would like talk like loud and bravado, like, yeah, war. But when you confront him, he'll be like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, yeah, all right, you guys, all right, fine, 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 fine." That's the kind of person Bill Maher is. So that's what Kevin Smith is pointing out. And so Kevin Smith is not like, he didn't give a Twitter threat about, "Oh, Bill Maher, you suck. I can't believe you do this again. You attacked us again." No, he just, and on that short tweet, he's like, "Hey, he's a pussycat." And I met Kevin Smith, by the way. Kevin Smith is a lovely guy. And I interviewed him for, I think, an episode of Goldberg's that he directed. And so, man, he's a chatterbox. He can talk forever. Kevin Smith can talk forever. He loves geeking out with fellow nerds. Um, and recently, Kevin Smith tweeted something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing here. He is thankful, or he's thankful to the fans because his first movie that he ever did is now older than he was when he made that movie. So he thanked the fans in that tweet. Thank you, fans, for helping me achieve my American dream that I don't have to work in a regular job. Now, guys, isn't that something that we should aspire to? For people to bravely pursue their American dream instead of, settling in some cubicle job. Not to badmouth those of you guys who actually work at cubicles. I'm sorry. I know you guys are probably lovely people. But the point is, Bill Maher got to achieve his American dream being a talk show host who misleads his viewers. And Kevin Smith got to achieve his American dream of being a filmmaker. Then why can't you? Why can't you and me do something similar to that? That should be the aspiration, the inspiration. Hey, let's pursue what, make a living doing what makes us happy. Okay. So last thing. Um, oh, there's one thing that Bill Maher did get right though. The point when he said that all superhero movies are the same. I'm sorry, I have to admit it too. They the glowy thing. He said something along the lines of, they always search for the glowy thing, the characters and the bad guys. And yeah, that's kind of true. He's kind of right on that point. The Infinity Stones or the Mother Box. Because all these superhero movies, they have MacGuffin. MacGuffin is the thing that drives the object that drives the story forward, becomes the mission for the bad guy and the good guy, and that is the goal in each movie. I would argue that the other commonly used formula is that the bad guys want to cleanse the world. Like press the reboot button. Like how Ultron and Thanos, or even Apocalypse from X-Men Apocalypse, they're like, "Oh, this world is corrupt. Let's just start over. Let's destroy them. And create new image." So that's the other commonly used formula. So I can't argue with Bill Maher on that front. So Bill, are the adults who read comic books, are they the ones who rigged our system in America? Are they the ones who passed tax cuts for the corporations and the 1%? No. I would argue that most adults who read comic books and cosplay at Comic Cons with their spouse and kids, they're actually generally working class people who work 9 to 5 jobs. So again, Bill, you are misdirecting your frustration here. And you are starting to sound like Clint Eastwood in the movie Gran Torino. Get off my lawn. Oh, back in my day, back in my day. So nobody likes those people. Even I always tell myself, like, to my friends, like, hey, when we grow older, please, let's not be, a conservative bastards. Let's not be conservative bastards. Make sure that we still are progressive and open-minded to new things and new changes, even though as we grow older. Because when we grow older, that's usually the tendency is like, oh, you just want to stay rigid. You don't want to accept new things anymore. Oh, why can't you do this? Why can't you read books that don't have pictures on them? That's what older senior citizens would usually do. I don't want to be like that when I grow older. So yeah, Bill, that's my long rant about this Bill Maher versus Kevin Smith. I almost said Kevin Spacey. I don't know why. Kevin Smith. And Kevin Smith is the winner, and he graciously pretty much put down shoot down Bill Maher's argument in just one tweet. So what do you guys think about this? Let me know in your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Okay, so I was gonna cover read negative comments. Rama reads negative comments, so I'm gonna do this real quick. There are some negative comments on my YouTube channel. Uh, Many of them are people who disagree with my reviews, and that's good, right? That's good. If you have opposing opinion about certain movies or certain TV shows, and you think that, oh, Rama, you kind of look at this TV show or look at this movie the wrong way. You're supposed to look at it from this perspective. I appreciate those comments. I appreciate the if you leave them here on the Rama's channel, we can have that discussion. Or just like most times, I would just say, "Huh, good point, interesting point." Agree to disagree. Sometimes I would do a reply. But these are negative comments that are not like that. So from the comments from the movie American Hangman, which is one of oh man, I hate that movie. It stars Donald Sutherland. Such a terrible film, and it's not Donald Sutherland's fault, by the way. The movie is just garbage. Philip Flores says this: very bad review, and clearly dislike the shows of it. Why would we share and like or support you? I mean, I've seen worse movie than this that I would give it an 8 out of 10. Your reviews would be great for sci-fi movies since they're so fake and bad already. Ay, ay, ay. And also from Oak, also about American Hangman movie. I don't know why, but people hate the fact that I hate American Hangman movie. He said, "Fuck your review and you." And there's a comment on my video about surviving R. Kelly. Now, this is not hateful comment, but the person says the person's name is Nume, or the person's YouTube account. The name is Yume. You spent more time talking about his talent than the crimes he committed. Did you watch the same show that I? You spent more time talking about his talent than his crimes. Did you watch the same show that I watched? This man deserves and needs to be locked up. Hey, I agree with you, Nume. I think he should face justice. He did face justice a couple of times and he got acquitted, unfortunately. But he should pay for his crimes. I'm with you there. But at the same time, I have to also give credit where credit is due. And the credit is that R. Kelly did write some of the most popular, most beloved R&B songs of all time. Ignition remix, I Believe I Can Fly, I'm Your Angel, you name it. The guy even wrote songs for Michael Jackson. You Are Not Alone. That's R. Kelly's song, and you can't say that that's one of the most popular songs on Michael Jackson's hit list, or greatest hits. As you say, hit list sounds bad. So you got to give credit where credit's due when you develop your argument. But that doesn't excuse the fact that he's talented does not excuse his behavior and what he did to those girls. So again, I stand by my opinion. I have to list the things that he did, his talents. But I did not say in this video, hey, oh my God, his talent, so he should be let go because of his talent. No, I did not say that, did I? All right, so the next comment here, with regards to Louis C.K., I did a video comment about Louis C.K., how he came back to stand up. The comment says, dude, what the fuck is wrong with your skin? Of course, he's making fun of my complexion and my face, my acne scarred face. But that's fine. That's fine. I have a thick skin. What can I do? I'm not planning to get a plastic surgery. This is my face. I own it. I embrace it, and I love it. So Holmes and Watson review. My Holmes and Watson review. The comment by Zigoner. He said, "Fuck you, Rama. Fuck you." The comment from Bird Box Review. My Bird Box review, starring Sandra Bullock. This one's more of a question. He said, "When the world gets to shit, what? Did you say that?" Okay, so Christmas awesome. That's the commenter. What I meant to say is when the world turns to shit. And I apologize if you got that incorrectly, or if you heard it gets to shit instead of turns to shit. And I may have said gets to shit instead of turns to shit. Um, English is my second language. I have this thick accent too. Sometimes I forget some grammars here and there. So what I meant to say is when the world turns to shit. And then there's some ugly comments for Dragon Ball Super Broly review by bloggers. Well, the reviews are done by not by me, but by fellow YouTuber D Star 01. And there's some comments left in underneath the video that were very, very, very nasty. So I don't want to read that for you guys. Well, basically, they're attacking the video for criticizing one of their animators, and so I get it. You love your animators. You're a big fan of you idolize the animators. So if we in our reviews criticize the animators, or if we criticize the filmmakers, or if we criticize the script writers, um, yeah, that's like our opinion, man. To quote the dude El Duderino, the Big Lebowski. Um, I mean, is any like any talent or any filmmaker or any artist is sacred? Like you're not supposed to criticize them at all? Like, oh, that's off the table, man. You can't criticize him. He's like a god. It's like a god to us. How dare you? No, it's like level playing field. Everybody's you can criticize me. I can criticize other people. Um, if you have a solid argument to back it, not just like, oh, I hate you or fuck you. It's like that's you being childish if you don't have any argument. So um to defend my fellow YouTuber D Star 01 who did that Super Broly, that I think because I watched the video, I was like, hey, that's his opinion. That's because I'm not a big fan of Dragon Ball, so I sent Mr. D Star 01 to cover Dragon Ball Super Broly, and he's very excited about that. And so he's very insightful in his review, at least in my opinion. And so he broke it down as to what he liked about the movie and what he did not like about the movie, and that's his opinion, man. If you disagree about him criticizing certain talents or artists connected to that animated movie, then you can say, "Hey, I disagree with you because this person has done this, and I think what he did in the movie was this, and this." You know, but if you attack just for the sake of attack, then you're not very nuanced. You're not very clever. You're not very deep. You're very shallow. All right. So that's some of the negative comments that I want to share with you guys. And now we got to the final topic here. I'm announcing the winner of Reign of the Superman. All right. We just crossed the hour. It's now 4:03. So the announcement of Reign of the Superman Blu-ray giveaway. And the winner is, drum roll, please. Again, I need to acquire a drum roll somewhere. Maybe I'll download them and then I'll put them on speaker next time. Okay, so the winner of Reign of the Superman Blu-ray giveaway. Remember, we only have one winner for this one, and that name is Adrian Ramirez. Adrian Ramirez from Tucson, Arizona. Adrian Ramirez, congratulations. You are the winner of Reign of the Superman Blu-ray giveaway, of Rama Screen Reign of the Superman Blu-ray giveaway. Thank you so much for participating, Adrian. And thank you to all of you guys, thank you for participating on this giveaway. Everybody who entered your chance to win this. And there will be more to come. I got a lot of other prizes, a lot of other digital code or Blu-rays. Studios will hook me up with stuff. So stay tuned. Keep checking in at both the website, ramascreen.com, and of course, this channel. And so that's the end of today's episode of Rocking It with Rama Screen Live. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. I appreciate everybody. And subscribe to this channel, ring that bell. And if you can help support this channel, again, go to patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. All right, let's rock this.